Well, we are here. We want to thank God. The rights of the people must be to respect the rights of people. Also understand that whatever that is going on right there in Nigeria, what is going on in Liberia, what is the current situation as it relates to the problem. Um, I think the well-being of the people the most important. And we hear this morning or this afternoon, whatever you are in the world, that when you look at the situation right there in Liberia, well, we hope that with the University of Liberia, uh, rights and responsibilities, we will keep in proud, and we think that we are in a nation that economically we can see that they are constrained. So we hope that the guys and everyone else will have rights. Should also look at their responsibility, the way their actions speaks. And I want to say to all of us that look back in the old days and where we came from. We don't want to see the old past. Why it is true that situation comes out, it is also true that we should be able to maintain the rights of the people. Maintain the rights of the people means to maintain the rights of our country and in the best interest of the people. So as an engagement and community engagement, we feel this time that it is important to know that uh, there are times in our lives we go through sometimes some things that we never thought we'd go through. There's a flashback this afternoon to all Liberians, wherever you are in the world. Keep Liberia in prayer. Keep Nigeria also in prayer. Nigeria, and if you look at prophecy, if you look at the reality, and looking at the Article 21 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it says all have the right to democracy. So, calling on the international community and all of us to, well, keep in prayer, but then we have to hold government accountable and those who are responsible, looking at the people, looking at their voice, looking at their actions. And if you see how Nigerians will be demonstrating really how they feel about the elections, say the process, if that had been the foundation. Now, one of the things that I want to share here this afternoon, this morning, is that let we can just well this area in Liberia, not only in Nigeria, not in nowhere, but right now, technology have taken over. So for any government, for any given government to think that, well, in the past that you should do it, well, I will tell you, you will be thinking against the rights of the people, and you will continue to create chaos in your country. And for peace sake, the justice and people need to have equity, distribution, equality is one of the things that is lacking in more nations, especially those of us who are in Africa, our country. And human rights is an entitlement to every individual, and that right must be protected by law, guaranteed by the state. If any government want to continue to remain in power, continue to probably, especially what we see in Nigeria, please, we think that to those ballot papers, what we are saying, and we need to begin that. Look, this is no longer can be in the past. What happened 20 years ago, and that's what I kept saying. You can't look at the present situation in the world and continue to want to go back to the to the 19s or to the hundreds. Can you cope with the situation and try to adjust yourself and make sure that you look at the fact that technology is advancing. So anything you do now is like exposed. Before you got to carry cameraman and be taking those stuff, and sometimes they take the tape and destroy it because why? Because they were taken by a man. But this time, let the world understand this. Everybody having phone. So even if you think your camera, or you can scare somebody else had that video. So that is the difference. 20 years or 50 years ago, during during the 90s, no, or the 80s or the 70s or the 60s, there's a big difference. So human rights, well, probably was in action, but it was overlooked. It was the people's right was infringed upon. Democracy was not actually applied, as we can see now that the situation right there in Nigeria, you can see it clearly. It's open. The reason it's open because you can see it on the phone. You can see the phone is giving us the information. Individuals have the right to take their on the ballot. So that's a big difference. Let us begin to respect people's rights. Let us understand, in order to maintain the peace in our country, in order for us to continue to do whatever God has called us to do on this planet, we must not think in our own mind that we can keep the people surrounding them in the circle and keep them in poverty in a cycle and kill them and make them to go to poverty in their own nation. This must stop. This must not be something that we will continue to do. And this is a different era. And that's why government all over the world should understand it's a different era, and we need to understand that you can't stop technology right now. It's already gone. It's going more advanced. You can see electric cars. You can see different things happening. So when you trying to do something in the past that you thought somebody else or another did, remember that this is a different era. Let a child have and everybody is using their phone or making use of it. So when you're doing something in the corner concerning in Liberia, if you think that, well, you can go away with something that you want to do to try to suppress the people, somebody will come out with the information. It's not like before. You gotta carry camera before, so the media can be tempered with. You can go down to the president of the media and say, look, give me that tape. The government got it right there. They can go there and say, give me the tape. Don't play that tape. Well, before, but this time. And that's why all governments should be very careful, and all governments should be to understand the difference between the time that you used to do it. You can go to the media and take the tapes. We remember some of the days in those times. We can remember some of those things that happened. Had it been this time, it would have been a different situation. So in order to maintain the peace, for justice, for understanding human rights and responsibility of every government, every individual, this is serious. Cannot compare last year or 10 years ago with the present situation in Nigeria. Nigerians, government, and other stakeholders should take key notes and take action now, because we can see that if the people's rights is violated, we know that it's a different case where they are going through, and you allow them to take actions, it become a problem. You have a too much population, Nigeria is depopulated, and it affects other countries in the region. We are letting our voices being heard. We are saying peace is the best remedy. The best thing we can do, if we say yes, democracy, they have the right to democracy, then go back to go and see who is crying. So should we bypass it? Should we forget about the people cry, or just let them, oh, they are nothing, they are insignificant? Or should we say, well, we got to go into it, and the international community, the ECOWAS state, go into it and make sure to make this thing a history? If we have been in the past where we can just say, okay, we will just overturn the thing, that's a different case in this all over the world, not only Nigeria. No, it's a different situation in the world. So every government should understand Not to say, oh, they hate me, or they don't like me, or the people don't. No, no, no. It's just about the technology, and you cannot stop it. So when somebody see a picture or some kind of information that I will hiding, especially those who are being victimized, what do you think will be the actions? So because all these clues, all this information we're getting, it's dangerous for any government. Think in their own mind that they can frog or choice sessions. It's difficult. It's very difficult. So that government will be creating chaos and will affect the people's life. For Liberia, we're not feel government doing Liberia no more in Liberia or anywhere, because we know that when the people speak, you can see it. We can see technology. People will be taking pictures. You don't even understand, and you can't stop nobody from taking a picture about ballot papers or anything that is going wrong. That's the right, and that's where this time. So if you are in this area, you must respect that right, because if you even not respect it, people will say expose some of the things that is going on all around us. It's simple. It's not something that we need to hide. You can see it. It's blooming. With the situation in Nigeria, you can see that it been in the past, and they think that they can still do it. And that's before I close, man, we need to understand respecting people's rights all over the place, religious wise, religious freedom, religious tolerance. Everything what we talk about, every individual have a right. I was just speaking to Michelle, talking about the rights of prisoners. They have rights, they have responsibility, and they have rights. Why it is true that they are in prison, why it is true that wherever they found themselves, they still have life, have rights, they can demand their rights. No matter what, they cannot speak. Somebody else should speak for them, because that right must be respected. That's it. So when we need to infringe on people's rights, then it creates chaos. So I want to say to all of us, as we look back in the world, we must respect the right. For the guys on the campus, in Liberia, on the university campus, we want to say, well, we pray for you, but you guys should take care and make sure that, look, maintain the peace. And that's what we are here for. Maintain the peace. Continue to pray that God is going to bless Accra, will give us the leadership we need, whatever leadership in the Senate. But when we take actions, the action we should take should not create chaos. And I want to say to all of us, we can make a big difference and change our society. Wherever you are in, you can be a little child, be a big person. You can think that you are a leader today, tomorrow you might not be that leader. So respecting people's rights should be on the bottom of our page. The community engagement talk about justice and peace. And we talk about it, we emphasize on this last year, gender-based violence and all these things that's in the world we're against, and we need to take action. The action we need to take should not create chaos. And so I thank you. For us, let's make the world a better place. We can never live in a world when it is confusion. Confusion brings a problem, yet some people get so mad